in terms of the history of jumbunna, it's important to go back and just look at where we were some years ago. It's important to understand that in 1986, for instance, we only had 2 students at the university.
Jumbunna was set up and initiated by Ken Canning and myself in we first started fighting for it in 1985 and officially got off on the road in 1987 with the help of Greg Etok and Norman Newland.
Jumbunna's changed in the fact that since I've been here it didn't exist. After a 2-year battle by students, Jumbunna opened its doors in 1987. The greatest change I've seen was the year after was the biggest influx of Koori students that had been to that date.
And the existence of jumbunna has served to achieve a hell of a lot in terms of raising the level of awareness, both within the non-Aboriginal community but also within the Aboriginal Torres Strait Islander community about the very real need there is to have programs such as these to facilitate Aboriginal enrolments and participation.
And seeing the change here at the university, I hope to think that I was part of the catalyst for the change here, like for Indigenous. I know Uncle Bob Morgan was here as the first director of Jumbunna. They said he had the one room, Larissa's office there. There were 3 students, Aboriginal students there. They just sit underneath the tree out and they didn't have a space even. So those figures, Ken Canning, Francis and Andrew, my son, they sit around anywhere, but they didn't have a space for them.
Hi, I'm Larissa Berrent. I'm Distinguished Professor and Chair of Indigenous Research, and I'm Director of Research and Academic Programs at the Jumbunna Institute. Practical reconciliation only targets problem areas as they arise or become government priorities. There must be a commitment to addressing the socio-economic disadvantage of Aboriginal people through the development of effective and targeted policy. Changes in Indigenous affairs should be directed by research-based policy. I think for myself and most of my team at Jumbunna, we would say quite proudly that we're advocates, that we have a point of view, that we argue for change, we advocate for it, and we protest for it. I mean, we love a good protest. We'll get in the streets and we'll protest. We do a range of things that means that we're not just academics. I feel really proud that we are a social justice university, and I feel really proud that we've got moments in our recent history that we can point to where we can say we were the university that stood up when nobody else had the guts to do it. This was a story that we needed to tell much more publicly. And you come into these things as a lawyer and you're looking at the technicalities and why things are made in a particular way. Because I think we do get bogged down in the technicalities, that what we wanted to do at the heart of this case is to say you can argue the technicalities, but at the essence of the heart of it is that you have parents who have lost their children, and to hear that in their own words, I think is the strongest argument of why we need justice in this.
What do we want? Justice! What do we want? Now! How are we going to get it? Fight for it! How are we going to get it? Fight for it!
But 25 years after the Royal Commission into Aboriginal Deaths in Custody, I'm going to tell you stories that could have been pulled directly out of the pages of the initial reports.